news is Kealey Boltina spent the legislative session as a news intern for South Dakota Public Broadcasting. She's back from Pierre to explain the major issues that were tackled. Kealey, what should we know about this year's budget?
Well, there are a few things that you want to remember about this year's budget. The first is that it began with Governor Dugard's proposal that cut 10% across the board from all state agencies. Now, in the finalized budget passed by both the House and the Senate, most state agencies still endure a 10% cut, but that's not the case for Medicaid and education. Now, Medicaid found about $12 million that was extra from stimulus funding that we can move into the next fiscal year. Education's a little bit different. When they looked at the proposed revenues for the next fiscal year, they realized there was about $12 million there that we could use for the budget. So they're allocating that as one-time money for the education as a one-time payment instead of spreading that across the other state agencies. So instead of a 10% cut, we're looking at about a 6.6% cut for education. That one-time money combines itself with a measure to freeze local property taxes. So it really was a good thing for education, but it's still a fairly significant cut for state education, Medicaid, and all of those other departments.
And Kealey, what other issues were tackled at this legislative session?
There were a couple of others that have garnered a lot of attention. The first actually is a measure that raises vehicle registration taxes. Lawmakers have decided that the roads are bad enough after last year's flooding, and additionally with more flooding on the horizon, that they needed to up vehicle registration fees to help benefit those road construction projects. The other measure that's getting a lot of attention is the abortion counseling bill. It doesn't actually ban abortion, but it does do, among other things, institute a 72-hour waiting period before a woman can have an abortion, and it also requires her to seek attention at a pregnancy health center to make sure there's no coercion. So lawmakers want to make sure that women aren't just having abortions because other people are making them. Opponents say it's going to garner a lot of lawsuits. Proponents say it's too important not to push the measure further. So that will be signed or possibly not signed by Governor Dennis Dugard. He says that he plans on signing it but hasn't officially committed to doing it. He'll also sign the budget bill, and we'll find out really the full ramifications of that on veto day at the end of March. Then we'll be able to bring you stories about the full effect of how that budget will impact students here at USD and across the rest of the state.
Thanks, Kealey.